which would be good. She had a good under-19, so hopefully that'll continue.
It's a good challenge today, isn't it, against this team?
Yeah, well, obviously Sophie Devine's back for Wellington, which is great for the competition. Obviously we would have liked her to be in isolation for another week, but it's good for us we want to play against the best players in the competition and test ourselves, and for us to win this competition, that's what we've got to do. So we're really looking forward to the challenge today.
Looking forward to your chat behind the stumps, Katie Martin. Have a good one today. Thanks very much. Maddie, happy with that result?
Yeah, look, I think we would have batted first as well, but look, I think chasing in this competition is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think the wicket's going to change too much over the next 20 overs.
Yeah, Katie's mentioned what she thinks of the pitch. What about yourself?
Oh, look, obviously a used wicket, and got a bit of inside knowledge from Lee Kasprick, who's a bit of a local down here, and says it can sometimes be a bit slow, but usually pretty true, so no doubt there'll be lots of runs on the board today.
Sophie Devine comes back in. Exciting news for your team. What does she add to your lineup?
Oh, look, it's fantastic. You know, she just brings a real presence with her, and I think everyone lifts around her, so it's great to have her back and looking forward to seeing what she can do today.
Any other significant team news for us today?
Yeah, Dee Darty's out, and we've got Caitlin King back into the lineup.
Okay, thanks, Maddie. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Well, it is a big game too for both of these sides, and especially for the Blaze, who'd be desperate to get back to the top of the table. Remember, the Hearts overtook them when they took down the Magicians, so they are top of the table for now. But with 4 points today, the Blaze could jump back to the top of the table. That's certainly what their aim will be. And we are happy to have the company of Susie Bates today. Susie, thanks for joining us again.
No worries. I'm just really pleased with the weather that Dunedin's turned on.
You would never have doubted this weather, would you?
It's like this every day in the summer.
Talk to me about this game today, and specifically just a couple of the names that stand out for you. Where do you start?
Yeah, well, really obvious one is Sophie Devine, obviously her first game of the Dream11 Super Smash, coming off WBBL where she was player of the tournament, one of the best 2020 players in the world just with the power she's got, so she's a clear one to watch for the Blaze side.
And what about in the Sparks today?
Yeah, actually another Sophie Aldershaw. She's been the top wicket taker for the Sparks. I think she's got an economy rate of 5, which through the middle is really good. And on this wicket, which it may be a little bit slower just with the second game, I think she'll be really key for the Sparks through the middle. Yeah,
you're a Spark from way back, so you understand that you're coming up against a team as good as this and as well balanced as that Blaze size is. So what are the keys here, especially when they're into bat? What do they have to do?
Yeah, for me, whenever you play a side like this, you've got to have wickets as a focus. Sometimes you can bowl defensively and think about saving boundaries, but you've got to think about how are you going to get Devine, Green, Kerr, those players out and think aggressively as bowlers. And then there may be a point where you have to go defensive, but first and foremost, how am I going to take wickets?
Well, there you go. It should be an exciting game all round. So remember, the Sparks are into bat first. They will be out in the middle here. And again, I reiterate, it is an absolute dunner-stunner. Looking forward to your company on TVNZ1 and on Spark Sport.
Starting with the visiting side, the Wellington Blaze, in jersey number 25 and captain Maddie Green, number 77 returning from the match duty Sophie Devine, number 48 Amelia Kerr, number 30 Rebecca Ferns, wicketkeeper for the Blaze in the number 5 jersey Jess McFadden, number 17 Tamsin Newton, number 24 Jess Kerr, number 62 and returning to the deep south, Lee Kasprick. Number 2, Monica Singh. In the 18 jersey, Georgia Plum. Number 28, Caitlin King. And 12 man for the Blaze today, Zara Gently. On to the home side, the Otago Sparks today. Number 4 and captain for the Sparks, Katie Martin. Number 29 and fine form with the bat, Polly Edwards. Number 19, Millie Cowell. Number 17, Hayley Jensen. Number 7, Caitlin Blakely. 21, Bella James. Number 24, Edie Carter. Number 30, Emma Black. Number 12, Marina Lampley. Number 14, Sophie Aldershaw. Number 11, Olivia Gain. And 12 player for the Sparks today, Saffron Wilson. We are just 4 minutes away from ball one. action here at the University of Otago Oval. If you haven't done so already, as AJ touched on, make sure you apply that sunscreen. The sun certainly does not look like it is going to go away today, which is fantastic news.
Great to have your company here. Dunedin is putting on a show, that is for sure, and hopefully the Blaze and the Sparks will follow suit. They are the first of our double-header today in the Dream11 Super Smash, presented by KFC, and it is great to have your company on TVNZ1 and of course on Spark Sport. Here are the two sides, and the big news for the Wellington Blaze, the return of Sophie Devine, fresh from isolation, as Katie Martin, Otago captain, mentioned at the toss. They wouldn't have minded her being in isolation for another week. But here she is, and we will be the beneficiaries, I'm sure, of some Sophie Devine magic today. She'll be keen to get out and amongst it. It's a veritable smorgasbord of superstar names in the women's game in this match, that is for sure. And there's one of them upstairs with me to start, Susie Bates. Welcome along to the commentary team today. It's a beautiful day for cricket in your hometown.
Morning, Scotty. Yep, it's like this a lot during the summer, so I'm telling everyone, but yeah, couldn't ask for a better day in Dunedin. Sun's out, not a cloud in the sky, and looking for a really good game of cricket, and hopefully the Sparks can get off to a good start with the bat.
Well, they're going to need it. They're up against a formidable bowling lineup. It'll be Polly Ingalls and Millie Cowan who will start this innings for the Sparks. It's a Sparks side that is rebuilding, Susie, I think it's fair to say. There's a lot of young names in there under the tutelage of Craig Cumming, but these are the days you look for as a professional or as any kind of athlete, a big challenge up against a team that really is the front runner again.
Yeah, absolutely. Polly Ingalls in particular, she's, I think, the third top run scorer in the competition, and first time opening in the Super Smash. Obviously there was a gap left there, and yeah, she's taken every opportunity she's had, and I'm hoping Polly's wanting to represent at higher honours for New Zealand, and there's no better day than today to stake your claim and perform against some of the best bowlers in the world.
A used pitch here, and both captains suggesting that it probably won't offer too much, pretty flat. Outfield, as Katie Martin mentioned during the toss, been relayed in recent times, but the outfield looks an absolute picture. And we're set to go. Manika Singh will have first crack. Singh starts, gives a bit of width, and Cowan takes full advantage. That's a good shot to get underway. Races down to the third man boundary where it's fielded in tandem.
Cowan will be really pleased with that. Last innings was her best innings of the tournament so far. She hit the ball hard and stood still, and nice to get off the mark early through backward point.
Full coverage on the offside for Cowan here. Takes advantage of that gap. Square leg, takes another single. It's well fielded in the deep.
Once again, Millie just standing still and hitting the ball where it needs to go. Look, she's obviously a teacher in Gore and doesn't get a lot of prep in the winter with the Sparks. She spends her time down there, but during Super Smash, obviously school holidays can put a bit more work into her training, so pleased for her to get off to a start here.
Ingalls taking guard, taking her time. No change in the field for Ingalls. Singh. Again, that's good. Full, and just a little movement off the pitch.
Yeah, I think that's where Singh wants to spend her time in this first over, especially to Ingalls, who'll punish you with any width. So nice and full and straight and attacking those pads. Good
again from Singh. Two in a row now, just cramping Ingalls up. Allowing allowing her any freedom to swing the arms. Surprised to see Singh open the bowl?
Yes and no. She has done it a lot for the Blaze this season, and I think they like the match-up to the right-handers with the ball shaping in, and she's done a good job so far.
Whoa, down, George.
This one's hit on the up, no run, and that's the end of the Singh over. In fact, one to come. Oh, she was looking for it, Ingles. Lucky to get bat on that one. That is the end of the Singh over. It is 3 for none.
Sparks 3 for the loss of no wickets.
Good comeback from Singh after a couple of loosenesses outside off stump. And then one that was just turned away with ease.
Yeah, if they've watched some footage of Ingles so far this season, they'll know how strong she is through the offside. So perfect match-up with Singh, bowling full and straight and not giving her any width. So if she gets another over, I think to both these batters, if she can stick in those areas, she'll be hard to score off.
Jess Kerr. That's the attack for the second over. Cowan will be on strike. Maddie Green in conference with Kerr. Driven straight down the ground. Easy pickings for mid-on.
Another bowler bringing the ball back into the right-handers, so it'll be interesting to see how these two go about scoring off Jess Kerr. She's very consistent with her line and lengths, and if they can get any length, hopefully they can hit her down the ground.
That's full. And again, good coverage there, preventing any runs through that through the offside. Oh, shot. Didn't get all of it, but that's where she's looking to hit. Straight back down the ground.
Really good option from Cowan. I think that's the areas you want to be looking, aiming at the sight screen. Kerr's got an offside wall here, but with the shape she gets, really difficult to get it through that offside. So I think that's the best area for Cowan to look, and perhaps Ingles as well.
Just backed away from that one, didn't she? Freeing the arms up.
She does love to stay leg side of it, Millie. We talked to her a lot about getting her front foot at the ball, but she's got such good hand-eye coordination from her hockey days. So, you know, whatever works for you, probably stick with that.
Ingles gets the thick outside edge. And off the mark.
Maddie Green and the Blaze girls obviously done their research, her change of field for Polly with that third man area, which she's scored a lot of runs this season. Got that bit of width she was after, but didn't quite get all of it, and it squirted out to third man.
Five without loss. 2 balls left in this Jess Kerr over, second of the day. Gets more of that one, and that will race away straight back over the bowler's head. That's where she wants to hit. First boundary of the day to Millie Cowan.
Super shot from Cowan. She was doing that all day yesterday in the nets, hitting hard and straight. That's her strength, and lovely to see her aim for that sight screen and hit it hard and get reward with a 4.
Jess Kerr now with some thinking to do. 6 runs so far off the over. One is cut. Easy pickings, and that is the end of the over. 9 without loss. Monica Singh. Waited on that one, and it's a good shot in the end. Slight misfield. Finally cleaned up by Tamsin Newton.
Ingles got a bit of width there, and she doesn't miss out on that. Nice to get 2, and hopefully she's got the pace of the wicket now and understanding what Singh's trying to do.
Fortunate misfield from Caitlin King. Great readjustment, wasn't it? And this time gets the edge, and this flies away. Chases on from Caitlin King again, but it'll go to the boundary. 4 more.
Doesn't matter how many fielders you put in that area, Ingles always finds the gap. Another 4 for her, and she'll be looking to make Singh pay again if she misses the stumps. If she is any wider than the stumps, Ingles is too good at the moment.
Solid start for the Sparks, and they needed one. Won the toss, decided to bat. Fallen straight, no run.
When Singh does get it in those areas, falling at the stumps, with this field she is difficult to get away, so Polly will have to show some patience if she's in good areas.
It's hard to get a run through that offside at the moment. There's also the option too to maybe use the feet, come down the pitch a little, just take away some of that length from Singh, create your own angles.
Definitely a good option. Sometimes when the keeper stands up, you put that option out of your mind, but with the shape that she gets, it is difficult for her to miss the outside edge of the bat, so I believe still a good option if the players have the confidence to do it.
Last ball of the over, and that one is defended, and that'll do. 15 without loss. Second straight over where Singh has gone for the first couple of balls of the over, and then just rediscovered that line and length. Dot balls, 4 of them in this over. It was the same the over before. She understands when she's strayed. It gives the impression too that they've done their scouting on these batsmen. They understand where they like to play their shots and how they can respond as bowlers.
And they've played to type any width. Polly's she's scored off anything hitting the stumps. She's struggled. So now it's up to these two. When Singh does hit the areas she's after, that they're still able to score and find ways to score off those good balls as well as when she misses.
Lee Casbrick into the side. She's really made a name for herself in New Zealand women's cricket, Susie, since heading out these ways.
Yeah, Sparks were sad to let her go. She did a great job with bat and ball for us, and we tried to hold on to her, but she's moved up to Wellington and been really successful up there as well, and yeah, she'll love playing in Dunedin.
Try to sweep, that one gets the top edge right over the top of the keeper. Jess McFadgen could only look behind and see that one flying out.
Yeah, not a bad option for Cowan. Craig, when I was down at training, watching the girls train yesterday, did talk a lot about trying not to play Lee as an off spinner and playing for the drift away, especially with the new ball.
Looking better than that. Looked like a thicker edge than it seemed to be in the replay. That one is definitely an edge, and that'll just be the one. Seemed too much urgency in that single.
No, maybe Ingles was happy to get off strike against her former teammate. Doesn't want to get out to her and have to deal with the post-match banter. But yeah, they'll be wanting to push runs. We saw last game that 2s were really important on this ground.
Trying to sweep this time from well outside. Cowan just can't get the timing right.
It is difficult to sweep Kasparek at times. You don't quite have the pace that you'd like, and you really have to wait and get good hand speed into the shot.
That's wide. Fielded. Good fielding too. You're trying to make your own pace here as a batsman, aren't you, against Kasparek? And you know if you miscue it, there's plenty of catches in play. Sweeping again. That's a good shot. Georgia Plymouth covering in the deep.
Great to see Cowan persisting with that shot, although I said it was difficult. The field is suited for that shot with square leg up and long on and mid-wicket back. If you get it, there's an opportunity for 4, but she got 2 then. Didn't quite get it as well as she would have liked.
Here we go, Lee. Here we go, mate.
Interesting move, bringing the slip into play. Millie Kerr.
Oh, that's good, Lee. Right on.
Over.
Right over, Lee.
It's the Kasparek over done. It is 18 without loss. Singh goes wide again on the first delivery. Lee Kasparek joins us from out in the middle. Lee, Scotty here. How was that first over for you?
Oh yeah, it was all right. Getting a little bit of drift, which is always nice. That's what I look for.
It's a good start from the Sparks here. What needs to happen, you reckon?
I think we just need to get our lengths right to the certain types of batters.
Down there, George.
So,
Lee, Susie here, how are you?
Hi, good, Susie. How are you?
I'm good. Talk to me about your fizz levels, about being back in Dunedin on a day like today.
Oh, it's outstanding, isn't it? I feel like every time Wellington come down, it's always raining. It's lovely through the week and always raining at the weekend, so it just feels like a real treat today.
Over the top. That's a good shot, lofted all the way to the boundary. No danger there. Well played.
Outstanding option for Cowan there, hitting down the ground with the swing and was able to clear that mid-on.
Oh, good shot. Good stress.
It was a good shot, wasn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it was a good shot. She's good down the ground.
It's great magnanimity from you in the middle there, Lee Kasparek. Over the wicket this time. Around the wicket, should I say.
Go, Katie, go!
Lee, you're so accustomed to the pitch here and the conditions here in Dunedin as well. You expect anything to happen with this pitch as the game goes on?
I don't think so. They always produce pretty good wickets at Uni Oval. Just maybe a little bit slower than the other wickets in the country, but not that sticky, so you can hit through the line of the ball.
Good delivery.
Good, Manu, well bowled.
Single taken.
Very good, buddy.
Great shape from Anika Singh.
Nice, Manu.
Yeah, and you saw the one shot from Cowan down to long on and the fielder's gone back, so now she's got an easier option for that single and she made the most of it and was, you know, I think she was tempted to go hard at that one, but she kept it along the ground.
Yes, sir.
No run off the last ball of the over. 23 without loss. Lee Kasparek, thanks for your time, mate.
It's all right.
into the attack for the Wellington players from the pavilion.
Maddie Green, the skipper, in to have a bowl. Monika Singh's got through 3 overs, 14 runs, 23 without loss here. The Sparks, a good start, a positive start for them, having chosen to bat. They would have hated to lose early wickets, but so far they've looked productive and they've looked positive. Tossed up by Green, just a single taken to mid-wicket.
Great to see Green bringing herself onto bowl as captain. I know Bob Carter, White Ferns coach, wants her to bowl herself, and she's often a reluctant off-spin bowler, but she's definitely got some talent. So as captain, it's always difficult to bring yourself on, but great to see her bowling in the power play in the last over, which is a difficult one.
Another slip change here as Smelly Kerr takes up her position.
Oh, good start, Maddie.
As you've mentioned, Susie, they know Inglis likes to play off the edge and run down to third man. Those are his shots, cutting. So
That's it, Mads.
that's what they're looking for here.
One.
Clever shot.
One, Jesse.
Turned around the corner, taking the single. Jess Kerr with the fielding.
This slap shot's been a really important shot for the Sparks this season. Craig Cumming speaks about it a lot, and Caitlin Blakely and Polly Ingalls in particular are very strong at it.
Big shot. Down the ground, chance for a catch? No. Couple of bounces fielded.
Divine's first touch of the game. She'll be really excited about being back on the park. Obviously had a long time in isolation, but great option again from Cowan.
That's good from Ingalls. Just waited on it again. Won't run all the way to the boundary, but they'll get a couple here. Monika Singh, the relay throw.
I was going to say, with the slip in there, it'll be interesting if Polly changes the way she plays that delivery, but I just think it's so instinctive that she'll continue to play it, and hopefully it won't go to hand.
This one turned around again. Jess Kerr to field. They just take the single to finish the over. Maddie Green's first comes to an end. That's 6 down, 28 without loss.
Into the attack for the Wellington players from the media centre end, number 48, Amelia Kerr.
Solid start from the Otago Sparks, University of Otago Oval. Power play completed, 6 overs gone. 29 runs on the board, and crucially haven't lost a wicket in that first 6 overs.
Katie Martin, I think, will be sitting out in the dugout reasonably pleased with the start after a difficult decision at the toss for her, but I think it was the right one, and we've got off to a good start here. Sorry, not we, I'm not playing anymore, but the Sparks have got off to a good start, and it's great to see.
Amelia Kerr into the attack.
Yes. Timmy.
Starts well as well. Crucial stage now for the Sparks to be able to capitalise on a solid start. And they managed to pinch one as well. A little bit untidy from the Blaze, and the Sparks have pounced on it. A little bit innocuous. Managed to pick up an extra. Goes to the wrong end early, does Amelia Kerr.
I think she'll be wanting to bowl a lot of wrong-ins to Polly and Millie. It'll be interesting to see how these two go about playing her, whether they use their feet or sweep.
Goes to that sweep early. 3 fielders out on the leg side for Amelia Kerr. She's got protection in that area, but even with 3 fielders out, there's still a lot of space in between the boundary fielders. That sweep shot can still be effective. Goes to it again, and that's the exact area we were talking about. Hit flat and hard in front of square for 4.
Outstanding sweep shot here from Cowan. Great option if you commit to it, and she managed to get it out of the middle of the bat and hit the gap as well. From watching a lot of Amelia Kerr, I think the key is you've either got to be really positive using your feet or really positive with the sweep. Nothing in between.
Goes again, this time well behind square. A lot of work for Jess Kerr to do it, backward square. Sparks pushing hard for 2. The added benefit of a sweep as well is if you can't pick the variations, a sweep is a good shot to go to.
Mr. Craig Cumming did spend a little bit of time at training describing the difference of her leg spinner and wrong ins, so potentially they are picking it. We'll never know.
Doesn't matter if you're picking them or not when you're hitting it like that. Fortunately doesn't pick the gap. Just the single to finish. Amelia Kerr's first over comes to an end with 10 runs off it. Sparks 39 for none.
7 overs down here into Dunedin. Your Otago Sparks moving on to 39 for the loss of no wickets. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to keep your eyes peeled in the crowd at all times for any cricket balls that may be flying at you from any direction.
Talking about spinners, young Otago spinner Eden Carson on a New Zealand development contract. Wonderfully talented player with ball and bat in hand as well.
Eden's there desperately trying not to do anything silly on television. I think she's spotted herself. Hopefully she can behave for the next few moments. She's a bit of a character in the team, likes to play a few pranks, a little bit cheeky. Her and Emma Black can cause a little bit of trouble, so I'm sure Craig has them under their best behaviour today.
Discussions between captain and fast bowler. Jess Kerr coming back into the attack. First over went for just the 6 runs. Been interesting the way that Captain Maddie Green has looked to chop and change her bowlers. 1 over spells have been the order of the day from one end. He's gone for the 3 fielders back on the leg side as well and cover out on the offside. Cowan hitting hard into the leg side. Just a little misfield from Green in at that mid-wicket area.
Cowan's really kicked on from the start. She got the other day against CD. 25 off 23. She's hit down the ground well, swept the spin as well, and I think then she was taking off stump guard to Jess Kerr, which is a really good option with the swing Kerr gets.
Going full and straight. That's where this too is a good pairing to have at the top of the order. Both enjoy width on offer. Just tend to hit the same ball to different places. Both got a unique way of approaching their batting, ability to find gaps that other batsmen perhaps can't. And when they both get going, can make it very, very tough for bowlers to be able to settle into a line and length.
Oh, good, Jess.
It probably executes the point exactly. The ball swinging in, angled in at the stumps as well. Polly Ingles still looking to go offside, still looking to go to her strength.
Polly showing a little bit of frustration there. Mid-on and mid-off is still up at the moment, and I think she'd love to just get one out of the screws and just release a bit of the shackles.
It's well bowled from Kerr. Ability to pull her length back slightly, shaved the off stump.
Unfortunately for Polly today, Kerr and Singh are probably the perfect matchup to a player like Polly. bringing the ball back in naturally, so not getting the width that she's perhaps used to this season. She's just got to stick with it. The run rate and the partnership's good, so they've just got to stick together here for as long as possible. Give the middle order, Jensen, Martin, a chance to go boom at the end.
Gets width on that occasion, misses out. Don't often say that about Millie Cowan. So strong through that area of the ground. Been a good over so far from Jess Kirk. Been able to halt the momentum. Over onto off stump once again. Cowan can't break the shackles. The dot ball to finish. Just the 2 runs off the over, 41 for none. Done a stunner, as they say, down in the south. Wonderful day in Dunedin. Good crowd has come in as well for the first game of the double header here at University Oval.
You said it off air, but just so it's on air, second favourite place in the country, Frankie?
Yeah, comfortably. I'm a South Island girl at heart. I don't hide my love for Dunedin at all. Hit hard and straight down the ground. Protection in that area in the form of Devine. Was noted by Sophie Devine. The colours that I've worn today were not quite to her taste, with the blue and gold on.
The Sparks did have a win last time you wore blue and gold, so I'm pleased that you're rooting for the right team today.
Not sure Katie Martin would speak to me if I turned up in colours anything different, so keep her happy with me for now at least. Just the lack of pace there from Kasperick, making the sweep a tough option for Cowan.
Knowing Lee, she's probably seen Millie sweep a lot previously in this inning, so knows that pace off is a good option. Hopefully Millie can now use her feet if she gets that delivery.
Instead goes flat and hard through the offside. Fielder had just been brought up. Cowan able to punish Kasperick.
Great shot from Millie here, got the width and was able to put it through the gap on the offside, stood still, and Lee missed her line a little bit and Cowan did not miss out.
Goes for the full toss on this occasion, just drifting down the leg side.
You can probably talk to this a lot more, Frankie, as an off spinner, but as soon as a batter starts sweeping you, it does make you think a lot more about your pace and length, doesn't it?
Chance up. McFadden holds on to a good diving catch. Kasperick gets the breakthrough.
A great start from Cowan, but she'll be disappointed with this dismissal. Didn't go for the sweep that time, played it off the back foot and sort of across the line there and only got the top edge, and the keeper was too quick, turn around, easy catch in the end. Cowan dismisses for 29. Sparks 46 for 1.
Blaze finally get the breakthrough that they've been seeking, but that only brings White Fern Katie Martin to the crease.
Oh.
Good over from Lee Kasperick with the breakthrough. 9 overs gone, 46 for 1. Just the length is the key thing with that wicket. Susie, as you're saying, with the sweep shot being brought in, what actually happens to spinners is generally the sweep shot is played to your best ball. It's to the length that you're wanting to bowl, so then it's the ability to go outside of that and try and manipulate the batsman into playing shots that you want, and just on that occasion gets a little bit fuller. Cowan playing off the back foot ends up having to take a tough option.
And often it is premeditated, and that length before that delivery she was probably sweeping, so she didn't get one of her sweep shots away and potentially changed her game plan, and Kasperick was too good on that occasion.
Now the Blaze go back to Amelia Kerr, change of ends from her.
Here we go, Milos. One for you now, mate.
Starts with a slip
One
in
George,
place,
one George.
just pulled into the leg side.
Just reacting to the length there, great to see from Ingles. Often with the world-class bowler. Here's the wicket again for Kasperick, and once again it probably is that fuller length that she could have swept, and just unfortunately went back to that delivery.
Good contact to start from Martin, but can't pierce the gap. Two fielders in behind backward point. This is a big matchup for both teams here. Key players on both sides. Katie Martin, a wonderful player of spin. Amelia Kerr, known for the ability to take wickets.
Good Lee, see that.
It will be very interesting to see how Martin plays this. Sparks will be very pleased to take Kerr for 10 off her first over, and often with a world-class bowler like this you can try and sit on it. Sometimes maybe your best option is to attack.
Crisp strike gets Martin off the mark. Some logic perhaps to the theory of the better the spinner is, actually the more risks you have to take.
I can't say that's always how I go about it, but I think that's got to be the key in 2020 cricket. You see a bowler like Rashid Khan, Amelia Kerr in the women's game, who take wickets for fun, and sometimes you think you can get through their 4 overs with no damage, and then you get out anyway.
Yeah, down.
Cutting well. Left hand takes a lot of pace out of the ball from Manika Singh, does a good job, saves a couple.
Good diving stop, just got a hand on it, but probably saved a run there, Singh.
And for her troubles, gets moved into extra cover now. Goes to the wrong end, and that's the ball that slips through the defences of Ingles.
Amelia Kerr once again with her wrong end, too good for a right-hand batter, and Polly went back and wrong delivery to go back to. You know it's coming with Amelia Kerr, but sometimes she's just too good. Little bit of extra pace, skidded through, and Polly departs for 19 off 27 balls. Sparks 50 for 2.
Kesperek to continue. So useful to have someone like a Lee Kesperek in your side who's prepared to take all the pace off the ball. Makes it hard for batsmen. They have to come in, create all the pace right from ball one. Very tricky person to get started against. Goes short on this occasion. Sneaks through Jess Kerr. Martin picks up a single.
Kesperek and Kerr in partnership at this level. It allows Kerr even more to bowl aggressive, take wickets, and Lee down the other end can try and restrict the boundaries, bowl a few dot balls, and allow Kerr to be even more attacking down the other end. So great partnership in the middle for the Blaze with the ball.
Sweeps hard. It's Jensen. Good start to her innings. Great way to get off the mark.
Key partnership here for the Sparks. Jensen's been in really good form with the bat, hitting it hard, scoring at a good strike rate. Martin hasn't had the run she would have liked, but has been looking good the last couple of games, so she'll be keen, winning the toss to get a score here.
One man.
It's tucked into the leg side for one. Yeah, Lee Kesperek's a fascinating one. Looks innocuous from the outside looking in, but actually very, very difficult to face, and picks up a lot of wickets, all formats. Chipped over mid-wicket.
One side, send it.
Devine keeps it to one. The other intriguing thing as well is her international bowling average is lower than her domestic bowling average. Not many players around the country who could say the same. Average is just a shade under 20 in internationals, just a shade under 16 domestic.
Maybe the tougher the cricket gets, the cleverer she gets with her deliveries. And what you don't see on the field is the amount of work she does off the field, watching batters, working out what the best delivery is to bowl at them. She thinks about the game a lot. She practices all her variations a lot in the net. Sometimes she even bowls left-handed. Pretty talented athlete is Kesperek.
Yeah, 55 for 2. The Sparks are in a good position, but need to find a way to capitalise on the start, need to be working out at this position. What's the score they can defend? How many do they need, and how are they going to get to that position? Cuts well, cuts past third man, and that will race away on this Dunedin outfield.
Lovely placement here from Martin. Kerr a little bit back of a length, and Martin was quick onto that back foot and pierced it through the gap for 4.
Such a good player off the back foot as well as Martin.
No, Timmy.
Again, quickly onto the back foot. Has the added benefit as well of playing a lot of cricket with Mealy Kerr. Slightly different position. Having the gloves on gives her a good view as to all the variations. Should have a good handle as to when she's going to bowl them. And if anything, the challenge goes back on Mealy Kerr is to try and outsmart the wicketkeeper that she's normally bowling the ball to.
Martin's not shy to tell everyone she can pick her, so she'll be determined today to react to every ball Kerr bowls. In answer to the question of a good score, I think the Sparks will know that they need above that 130 at bare minimum, and if you can get up to 140, take some early wickets, you give yourself a chance.
Yeah, well, no side so far in this Dream11 Super Smash. The women's side of the competition has chased over 140, so average scores have come down slightly from last season's competition, and as of yet, the chasing sides haven't been able to quite get underway. Goes to the wrong, and again to finish the over. Martin beats the diving backward point, able to scurry back for a couple. 6 runs off the over, 12 overs gone, 61 for 2. Just the footwork from Martin allows her to get in a position to be able to access that ball. Not necessarily that wide or that short from curve, but the ability to get deep in the crease, play the ball nice and late once the ball's done its work off the surface, and she can pick her gap at will. Skipper Maddie Green seen enough of spin for the time being. Tamsin Newton coming into the attack. Seasons gone by has had limited opportunities with ball in hand, but this season has come back into the regular bowling rotation, has done a good job as well. Picked up 4 wickets at an average of 23, runs per over of just 6.57. Swinging the ball around in warm-up, so it'll be interesting to see if that continues today.
A little bit of a loosener there for Newton, a little bit short and wide, and Hayley was able to get the single. They're really spoilt for bowling options, the Blaze, aren't they? I think only Singh is the only bowler not to have played for the White Ferns who've bowled so far, so plenty of experience and big match experience as well.
Cut hard into the outfield. Just the single though.
How do you go, Jess?
Lee, happy with how your side's going at the moment?
Yeah, pretty happy. We've kind of started them with a little bit of boundaries just recently. But, you know, these two are the most experienced batters, so we're looking to try and get the breakthrough here.
Pulled hard into the leg side.
Come, Millie.
Bailey Kerr does the fielding.
Yes, Millie, well done. How do you go, Millie? Good, Timmy, well done.
Nice to bowl in tandem with a fellow spinner as well, Lee.
Yeah, it's always nice. We've actually got a couple in Wellington now that Maddie's having a wee trundle too. So, yeah, no, it's always good to try and build those partnerships together.
The batsman obviously would hate coming in and facing the spin net.
Oh, no, they usually smash us around if we have a net, so it feels a bit different.
Goes high, Divine after it, just falls into no man's land. Martin lucky to get away with that one.
At least as a spinner in the nets, Lee, you've had a bit of a break from Divine, where you feel like you need to wear a helmet when you bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that much fun. She probably gets the worst net sessions out of anyone in the team, particularly bowl down leg and a little bit short. I think not even trying, it's just like a bit of self-preservation.
Pulled hard again. Unfortunately, just front foot no ball from Newton as well.
Timmy.
Not what's needed throughout this over. Tight call, but there has to be something behind the line. The line is the umpires.
This may just be what Martin needs to kickstart her Dream11 Super Smash.
Takes the pace off on that occasion. Just wobbled away a touch as well. Very well executed. The field that she had. Good courage from Newton to be able to take pace off the ball.
Very well bowled from Newton. Took pace off, but also the line. How often do you see batters set to hit leg side? So if you can get a bit of width on that delivery, it gets it out of the arc of the batter.
Any thought on a pass score, Lee?
I'm actually not really that sure. I think if from here... Go, Caitlin! I think if we can try and keep them maybe under 140 here, I think that would be pretty good. It's kind of can be often hard ground to defend on, so I think, yeah, if we can keep them under 140, we'll be looking to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Lee. for your time and best of luck for the rest of the game today.
Thanks very much.
Just having a check on the height of that last delivery from Tamsin Newton. Last delivery just over the waist height of batsman Jensen. So called no ball. Picked up a couple off that. So Jensen, the facing batsman, once again, means she cannot change the field from the last delivery. So has to be the same field she bowled to when she bowled the height no ball. Now has to try get herself out of jail with a free hit this delivery. Possibly ball of the day, and all it counts as a dot ball to finish the over.
Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to purchase or involve 10 Sparks merchandise, head over to the merchandise kit at the main gate alongside the pavilion. We have a variety of items for sale, including roofing playing shirts, supporters tees, caps, bucket hats, and even some socks. Get on down there, get yourself kitted out to unlock a local spa.
Mixed bag for Tamsin Newton in her first over, a couple of no balls, but managed to spare herself the blushes. As the Sparks unable really to capitalise on that. Frankie Mackay and Scotty Stevenson with you. Susie Bates also alongside us in commentary today. Great to have your company as the Dream11 Super Smash presented by KFC continues. And a gorgeous day here at the University of Otago Oval. Maddie Green, the Wellington skipper, set to take up the attack. Her opposite skipper, Katie Martin, facing up. Martin comes down the pitch. Runs hard for her first, won't come back for the second. They won't trust her arm against Jess Kerr. This was the last free hit opportunity against Newton. Peach of a delivery, skittling off stump. Hayley Jensen was swinging for the hills on that one. Down the ground again, that's thumped hard. Cover coming, won't get there, good shot.
A lovely sound out of the middle of the bat from Hayley Jensen. Green just going full and wide outside the off stump. Just a little shimmy down was all the momentum that she needed. Flat and hard through that offside. And with that, creates a change in field as well. Had extra cover who was on the boundary comes up. Long off, back on the boundary, long on. Deep mid-wicket, backward square. Coming round the wicket now as well.
Swept behind square, Jess Kerr. To the fielding again. Been good in the field, haven't they? The Blaze today. Kerr sisters riding boundaries, great arms.
Can we get a little look at this offside field, please? Maddie Green bowling to 3 people in and around that point area.
Katie Martin just plays this one out to mid-wicket. Squarer than that, takes the single.
Fascinating, the different fields between the two. Identified that Jensen much more likely to look to go down the ground with power, so trying to protect that. Looking to come round the wicket as well, try and take that angle away to be able to freely score through the offside.
Misses out, but Jess McFadgen can't handle that one. They run through for a bye. Leg byes, in fact.
Meanwhile, just a little leg bye. Down the leg side. With this offside field and 3 in behind point, it means they can actually have an extra cover on the boundary.
Well, they know she likes to hit there, and even with 3 fielders in place, Katie Martin finds the gap and the boundary.
Great finish to the over there. The
End of the Maddie Green over. The
Sparks
Sparks racing along, 83 for 2.
You can see that it's such an area of strength for Martin through that point area, backward point. Still, even with 3 fielders nice and close together, still able to pierce the gap. A wonderful piece of batting. Brings some much needed momentum into her innings.
That goes straight to a traditional point. Maybe a matter of overthinking that one. 83 for 2, the Sparks, 14 overs down. Jess Kerr back into the attack. Two most experienced batsmen out there in the middle for the Sparks, and Katie Martin and Hayley Jensen, international cricketers both. Wickets in hand, when do they push go? Just the single.
That might be the feeling of Blaze skipper Maddie Green as well, is just starting to think maybe they are. Maybe just starting to slightly put the foot down. So it's gone back to her experienced bowler in Jess Kerr. Got a fantastic economy rate as well. This season just going at 4.4 runs and over, whilst also able to pick up 5 wickets.
Down the pitch, straight to cover, no run.
So just that recognition that the momentum has ever so slightly just started to swing. So rather than let it get out of control, rather than let these 2 in the middle really get going, it's going back to a genuine wicket taker. And how nice to have a genuine wicket taker who also doesn't run the risk of leaking runs. Keeps it nice and tight. Picks up a lot of wickets as well. So trying to break this partnership early.
Just waited on the shot that time, Katie Martin. Just maybe caught a little betwixt and between. Looking for the drivable delivery.
What the Blaze side do so well is every time there has been a big over, Maddie Green just hit for double figures. Amelia Kerr, she started off with 10 off her first over. They have the ability to go to a white fern, to an experienced bowler, to try and back up that over with a good one. So all of a sudden, it just brings that momentum back again, and you end up even Steven after 2 overs.
Yeah, the run rate under 6. And this Blaze batting lineup will look at that and think, well, we're not threatened by that kind of chasing run rate. But even so, there's a foundation now, a platform, if you will, for these 2 to really set a challenging score.
Yeah, and the wicket today does look ever so slightly on the slow side. The change-up deliveries have just held in the surface a little bit, and some bowlers in the Otago Sparks lineup who do look to take pace off the ball.
Down the pitch, straight through Kerr's legs, nutmegged. Sophie Devine covering on the boundary.
See Sparks looking to be aggressive, especially Jensen looking to hit powerfully. Just can't quite get going. The field is very well set at the moment for the Blaze, and the bowlers are backing it up.
It's a hallmark of Maddie Green's game. She's very good at setting fields. Last ball of the over. This will also go for a single as Devine comes around to clean up. End of Jess Kerr's third. That is 86 for 2.
Benefit as well, I think Maddie Green's got a fantastic cricket brain. Someone who I thoroughly enjoy sitting down and talking cricket with. She's aided as well by having some really experienced heads in her side and a very dominant bowling lineup who seem very clear in their plans, who've had success not just in New Zealand but around the world for the majority of them as well. So to be able to turn to them if you ever are under pressure makes her job a lot easier. But she's definitely doing a wonderful job with the skipper's armband on.
Family day out, that looks comfy. Amelia Kerr back into the attack. This will be her final over. They've got a strike. They need a wicket here. Blaze. I would suggest that's why Amelia Kerr's there. It's not about saving runs at the moment. It's about trying to knock one of these two over.
Yeah, it's a challenge for the Sparks as well, knowing that this partnership is building. These two are crucial to being able to put a good score on the board. 5 overs left. You are, at this point of the innings, really starting to think it's time to go. It's time to start looking at 10 plus and over. And then you get Amelia Kerr come back in. And you start to think, well, do we just need to get through this over? Do we just need to get 5, 6, 7 off it, not lose another wicket, go an over later?
Yeah, but overs are running out, aren't they? And that is the dilemma that they find themselves in. She's not the easiest to score off, Amelia Kerr. And saying that, Spencer by her standards today, 1 for 20 off 3. Pick up a quick single. McFadden does the fielding.
Maddie, you go cover.
And now a chance for arguably the more aggressive of this pair. Hayley Jensen maybe come down the pitch and have a crack.
Yeah, well, I thought Millie Cowan played Amelia Kerr excellently when she came into the attack. Went to the sweep shot early, looked to be aggressive early, got herself ahead in the over. And 10 runs came off that first over.
Cramping up on that one. It's a good delivery from Amelia Kerr. Jensen knows it.
And that's, I think, where Amelia Kerr gets a lot of people into trouble, is when they're primarily looking to play her as a leg spinner and hit her through the offside. She cramps them up with that wrong and almost at will. But when players allow themselves to hit into the leg side, be it with sweep shots or looking to use your feet to get her into that area, she's got a lot less scope to actually get you out, because the wrong in is her best ball. Doesn't necessarily turn her leg spinner a long way. Especially domestic cricket bowls, very few leg spinners as she's hunting wickets with the wrong in. So I love the intent that Millie Cowan had at the crease to look to dominate her through the leg side and almost make her change her plan.
Oh, again. Yeah, it's almost her stock delivery, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she's just in her 49th domestic T20 match and she's picked up 71 wickets so far. So, phenomenal record.
So there's another, is it? No, through. Oh, interest all over the show there. Leg byes are called. And that's the end of Amelia Kerr's 4th and final over, 91 for 2. Jess McFadden just took one in the helmet. She says, we're A-OK here. Just on the side. Would have felt that. Newton fires one at the pads. And runs called.
I'm actually very surprised that we didn't have someone come out and perform a concussion check then, HIA.
I was going to say, it seems strange to me. If that's a batsman, that happens as a matter of course.
I don't actually think that's touched the gloves at all, so interesting.
Calling two, pressure on the throw, and yes, well fielded. Amelia Kerr coming around. They weren't going to take the risk on her arm. Good use of the feet again from Katie Martin. Punched out through the cover. And the other Kerr doing the fielding on the other side.
Good turn, finish well.
That's good. Again, that placement from Maddie Green working a treat. Boundaries hard to find, and it's boundaries they need. Wide call this time.
Brave from the Blaze. Just the short, fine leg inside the circle. Katie Martin, such a proficient lapper and sweeper of the ball. Perhaps again showing the slightly slow nature of the surface here at University Oval.
Martin dropped. Sophie Devine puts it down.
Done all the hard work as Tamsin Newton takes pace off the ball once again, sits in the surface, has Martin reaching for it. Comfortable catch at shoulder height, goes down from Devine.
Yeah, a bit of use of the feet this time, but again, straight to the fielder. Maddie Green, the captain. What was interesting about that shot from Katie Martin is just the bat was so far in front of her. Didn't move the feet, reached for it. Just confused by the pace of the delivery. And was committed to the shot well in advance of the ball arriving. Not this time. That one goes straight over the top. One bounce for 4. Big finish to the Newton over. And the Sparks have hit 100.
3 overs remaining here in the first innings at the University of
Good striking against the length delivery and the back end of the over from Katie Martin. It's the danger as well of having your fielder off the boundary, trying to stop twos. Amelia Kerr just creeping in over the head, 1 bounce 4.
Katie Martin and Hayley Jensen at the crease. That brings up the 50-run partnership as well between the two batsmen.
.50-run partnership between Katie Martin and Hayley Jensen here. Crucial too with the loss of Cowan and Inglis. 2 down, 101 on the board. There's the Sparks card, the Blaze card, should I say.
Back into
Who comes in for the last few overs? Yep, it's proved expensive. Maddie Green's going to have one of them. Jensen gives herself some space, takes one quick. Katie Martin says, I'm coming back to the danger end. Great running.
A little bit of cat and mouse. Hayley Jensen knowing that Maddie Green's going to look to land the ball outside the leg stump, prepared to give herself plenty of room. Katie Martin running hard to get back for the second.
Same again. Gives herself some space, and this one races away to the boundary for 4 more.
And the game within a game continues. Green persisting, trying to bowl the ball outside leg stump to cut down one half of the field. Jensen able to get down to it on the full and hit straight down the ground. A little arm ball, I think, there as well from Maddie Green. Brings a little change in the field as well. Extra cover was on the boundary, now up inside the circle. Long off, back in position. And the 3 out on the leg side.
And gets through the lot of them. Good shot, cutting. Back-to-back boundaries.
Just misses on length again on this occasion. Over-pitched the ball before, drags this one down. Jensen holds her ground and able to easily access through that offside. Pressure on skipper Maddie Green now, 10 off the first 3 balls of the over. Coming back over the wicket.
Waits on it. Just the single this time.
It's good from Maddie Green there, taking all the pace off the delivery. It's a hard thing to force yourself to do if you've been hit for back-to-back boundaries, to then feel like you're going to toss the ball up, bowl nice and slow. Good courage from the Blaze captain.
What can Katie Martin do? Oh, gets one. Well outside the leg stump and runs on a wide, and that seems an incredibly foolhardy decision. Katie Martin has gone, run out, 112 for 2.
Just a bit of a bizarre piece of cricket. Trying to gamble and sneak through for the extra run off the wide. Instead, it ends with the run out of Katie Martin for 27, just as she was starting to get going. 112 for 3 now.
Well, a moment of chaos and calamity for the Sparks as the captain departs, trying to run on a sneaky one. The delivery had been called wide, and this one will as well. So Maddie Green's over, gets an extension. Hayley Jensen had just committed to the run.
Just hasn't gone far enough away. Only a couple of steps to get that ball. Fadden's done well to hold her nerve. Prepared to just nice, easy bounce throw back to Maddie Green at the top of the stumps, but a gamble that feels like it just might have been a gamble too far, unfortunately, for the Sparks.
Must admit, I was in a bit of shock. Just had no idea they were going to take a run on that.
Yeah, it's almost just come out of nowhere, really. Been trying to push the running a little bit more in the later stages of this match, but yeah, just a slightly bizarre decision.
I think you look back on it, you think, well, we've got the run. It's called wide, we've got an extra delivery. That is the end of the over now. Maddie Green, 3 overs, number 32, 116 for 3. 70.
On a day like this, hydration is key, and I believe the young man AJ has got the right place for that.
You're too right, mate. If you're in the OBT stand, I'll tell you what, thanks for thanking me for being up here in the shade. We have found some hydration. We've got a big 20-litre here.
You can understand the disappointment from Katie Martin. She's sitting there thinking to herself, what?
Sodas, wine, we've got cider and beer.
Lee Kasparek comes back for the penultimate over here, 117 for 3. Well, it's time to swing. 6.5 per over, the run rate so far in this inning. There is the swing. Fielder coming round, good. Piece of fielding, won't be enough, however. Great attempt. Tamsin Newton did everything she could to stop that, but she can't prevent the boundary.
It's an outstanding effort down at the long on boundary. It's been hit powerfully into the leg side. Newton covers good ground, big sprawling dive to try and cover the bounce. Fortunately, only able to tap it onto the boundary.
Bowled it! She's gone. Hayley Jensen trying to swing again. And Kasparek has the wicket.
Just holding her nerve there. Lee Kasparek tossed up the ball before and hit powerfully down the ground for 4. Next ball goes to the same length but takes all the pace off. Jensen just can't wait long enough and ends up running past one and having the leg stump disturbed. Good innings from her, 35 off just the 26 balls, but the Sparks now 121 for 4.
35 off 26 deliveries. Needs to the crease.
Good piece of bowling from Lee Casbrick. She's been miserly again today. Such a calm figure too, Lee Casbrick. Nothing seems to faze her. She understands what she's trying to do. Just gets back into her work, ball after ball.
Yeah, she really comes into her own the more people actually try and attack her. I think if people just are prepared to work her around and hit ones and twos and the odd boundary off a poor ball, she actually struggles to take wickets. But when people come at her hard, that's when she really does just come into her own and becomes world class.
I wonder if that's partly, you mentioned her averages before between international and domestic. That has given all sorts of flight. And reverse swept away. Get a couple here.
And again, such a useful bowler to have at the death of an innings. Again, perhaps you'd think having someone bowl slow and take all the pace off would not necessarily be a good option when the slog is on at the back end of an innings, but her control is so wonderful that she's able to pick up wickets like this, as people can't quite get down to her, end up running past a lot of deliveries. Good to see the reverse sweep come out early though. Bella James's innings, looking to find a way to score.
This time misses out completely. It's a good delivery from Casbrick.
Just again, it's that lack of pace. Batsmen feel like they need to come at it to try and create some momentum, some of their own pace. Just can never quite, feels like you never get to it.
No single this time either. It could run on an overthrow here. They will. They'll chance the arm on Newton. Newton throws. Chance out. Gone. Great piece of fielding. Tamsin Newton. James Blakely, should I say, has to head back.
Yeah, difficult there. Blakely had been looking to push through for the single, was sent back when the throw then missed the stumps, goes out into the outfield. She then gets called through, has to turn on her heel and try and scamper through for that single. Unfortunately unable to do it. And it's been run out for 2. Sparks now 123 for 4.
All for the calls for the Otago Sparks. Next to the crease and at number 7, Olivia Gay.
Center. 1.
Olivia Gain on strike. Immediately off the mark. No time to muck around now. That is the last ball of the over. Casbrick striking twice. She finishes 2 for 20, 124 for 5.
Hit firmly into the offside. Blakely was backing up, trying to get through. Would have been out with a direct hit at the bowler's end and had to turn on her heel and try and scamper through for 1. Excellent work from Newton in the outfield, able to back up the throw and give a good throw back to the wicketkeeper, who takes the bails off comfortably to run out Blakely.
We are into the final over here on the first inning for the Sparks, 124 for 5. Let's quickly check in with our man AJ.
Yeah, mate, I believe that's the second run out. So if you've got your Super Smash play card now, it's got 3 run outs to match.
Olivia Gain coming back into the side for this one.
Make your way over to the merchandise tent for a wee goodie bag.
On debut today, T20 debut for Olivia Gain on the back of a wonderful National Under-19 tournament where she was the leading run scorer. Scored 340 runs, an average of 56.66, 200s in there as well in just a week of cricket.
Handy.
Exceptionally so. I've seen a bit of her in the one-day format, the Halliburton Johnson Shield. competition. She's played 23 games in that format, often opens the batting as well. So a very, very capable batsman, useful person to be coming in at the back end of an innings. But she will have her work cut out for her against a pretty strong Blaze side, good fielding side. Of course, the dangerous Jess Kerr, only gone for the 11 runs so far in her 3 overs and now tasked with bowling the last.
Yeah, she's been outstanding today. Big battle on here. Gain against Kerr, and Gain gets to it. And this might go all the way. It will. 4 runs. Great shot.
The good form continues. This gets a low full toss. Just outside the line, a leg stump. Trust the timing enough. Just lets it come onto the bat, clips it wonderfully behind, square leg. Easily runs away. Sparks will be hoping for another couple of those in this over push-up towards that 140 target.
Well, having won the toss and opted to bat, I don't think Katie Bunt will be too disappointed with this total so far. Now it's time to see just how far they can push this. With Jess Kerr pushing back.
Yeah, I think anywhere in the realm of that 130, 140 score, you're in the game. You've given yourself a chance. Suggest that it's probably around par on this surface as well. The outfield looks good, it's run well. Wicket's been a touch slow, been tough to score off, been a little bit of grip for the spinners as well. So they've got themselves up to a roundabout score. They can look to defend, and now just trying to put the icing on top.
Full again. And gone. Well, umpire Brown took his time to decide, but the decision has been made. The finger's gone up. Slight edge, McFadden appealed, so did Kerr. That is a sharp piece of keeping right there. Olivia Gain goes for 5. Otago 128 for 6.
Just the skill set once again of this Blaze lineup to be able to go to slower balls. Got hit for 4 early in the over. Still prepared to take pace off. Back yourself still to execute up around the Yorker. Does so and manages to find the edge, which was expertly held by McFadden.
Number 30, Emma Black.
Emma Black, a new batsman to the crease, tasked with taking on Jess Kerr, trying to find a way to get up and over that score of 130. Across the crease, swings hard in the direction of leg side. McFadden again in the game. Picks up the little deflection off the pads, quickly back onto the stumps. Very close, very, very close. It's a good decision to make with the naked eye, square leg. Again, just shaves past that off stump. Emma Black swinging hard towards the leg side. After starting with a boundary at the start of this over, Jess Kerr has been simply magnificent. Dot, wicket, followed it up with 2 dots to the new batsman. Now just one final ball to go. Emma Black going to the reverse lap and can only get it so far as Lee Kasperick. Simply magnificent from Jess Kerr to finish off. Emma Black unfortunately departs without scoring. The 20 overs done. The Sparks sit at 128 for 7. Jess Kerr picking up 2 wickets in her last over. Just the 4 runs coming off it. Blaze have been dominant with the ball throughout. Jess Kerr with 2 wickets, Lee Kasperick with 2 wickets as well.
And while there's plenty more Dream11 Super Smash action,
It was a good start for the Sparks. They won the toss and elected to bat. Managed to get themselves through to 46 before they lost their first wicket. Millie Cowan, good innings for 29 off just 29 balls. Polly Ingalls couldn't quite get going, 19 off 27, and Martin and Jensen the key contributors in the middle order as well. Jensen top scoring with 35 off just the 26 deliveries. Blaze were impressive in the field with a couple of run-outs, and their bowlers miserly as well. Lee Kasperick 2 for 20, Amelia Kerr also picking up 1 for 22 after going for 10 in her first over, and Jess Kerr 2 for 15 off her 4 overs. Final over picking up 2 and only going for the 4 runs. The Sparks scored 128 for 7. That means that the Wellington Blaze, they will require 129 runs to win. After the break, we will have a special announcement coming your way along with the run chase.
The required total for the Wellington Blaze. Our man AJ is down on the ground. He's got one of the greatest last names in first class cricket. Matthew Bacon. AJ, it's over you, mate.
Yeah, too right, mate. So we've got Mr. Bacon here. He'll be playing in the late match, 3:10 volts. Mate, first up, what a day. Yeah, too right now. You're running Birkenstocks, so we'll take a video down there. You're running Birkos. I'm running the Scuffs. It is a day for that. No socks. Absolutely. You got some toe socks, mate? Yeah, running the toe socks, mate. No picnics to see those. Absolutely, yeah. Man will miss my toes. But anywho, moving on. What we've got here, we're going to pump a few balls out of the crowd. The kids are waiting. There's a swarm of bees over there waiting. What happens is if you catch a ball with a silver number on it, you can take that to merchandise tent and grab a wee goodie bag. So we've got heaps of prizes. 10 winners out of these balls. We've got about 1 in 3 chance. So get your hands ready. Kids, adults, you know, animals, if you've got your pet here, if they can catch a ball, good stuff. Off we go, mate. Let's pump a few with the crowd. So we will make our way around the ground, so the ball comes to you. Oh, we want to see a one-hander there. Who's got the one-hander? We catch.
Yeah, welcome back to our coverage of the Dream11 Super Smash presented by KFC. You're with Spark Sport and with TVNZ1. Susie Bates is with us and we have a very special announcement to make to you today. We can confirm that the White Ferns will face both England and Australia in one-day internationals and T20s. The England series will start on February the 21st and the Australian series will start a month later on March 21st. 4 of the games will be double headers with the Black Caps. The White Ferns, Susie Bates, back in action. How good?
Yeah, so exciting for the girls. Obviously had a tour to Australia which didn't go as well as they would have liked, and to be back playing some cricket against the 2 best sides in the world is going to be great. 2 games in Dunedin I see as well, which Katie Martin will be extremely pumped for. Sadly, I'll be on the sidelines, but if we can turn a day on like this today, it'll be a great day.
Yeah, those games are Friday the 26th of February and Sunday the 28th of February right here at University Oval. We've also got Hagley Oval in Christchurch. on the 23rd of February. So I got my date wrong there. 23rd of February, the first game. That is the day after the Black Caps face Australia at Hagley as well. So we're following the girls around. It's going to be fantastic and exciting for the White Ferns to be able to host these two teams right here in New Zealand and for fans to get a chance to see them up close.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Right off the back of each other. We all know Australia are the #1 side in the world. You see them a lot on the Big Bash. England we haven't played a lot recently, but they've got some star players, some quality young players coming through, led really well by Heather Knight, so it's going to be a tough battle and great preparation for the World Cup in 2022.
Yeah, World Cup is on everyone's mind at the moment, of course, delayed World Cup, but this gives you guys just the best possible preparation, doesn't it, to face these teams, to face some of the best players in the world right here on New Zealand fields.
100%. You know exactly where you're at when you play Australia and England. It's a really good level to test where you are with the bat and ball, and yeah, great preparation leading into 2022, which is going to be brilliant. And fingers crossed, a game in Dunedin for that World Cup as well, and I can be back on the park.
I totally agree. You won't be able to take part in these ones. You upset with that?
Yeah, no, it's a bit bittersweet. We obviously had the game in Dunedin scheduled. Beautiful day like this the day before, and then the match day, which would be Katie Martin and my first game in Dunedin, it rained the whole day. So I'm praying for some good weather, but we've got 2 games this time, so better chance for play.
Excellent, Susie. Well, look, England and Australia here to play the White Ferns. Starts on February the 23rd at Hagley Oval in Christchurch against England. A one-day series and T20 series against both of those sides. Make sure you check out all the action. It's going to be a cracker. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the run chase right here at University Oval.
It's high. Who's going to take that? Right, Donald. Well done. I see a dive. Come on, kids. Yep, but the dive down here. Give them a chance. I want to see a dive. Oh. Superb catch from Zach there. 3 coming the over. 3 coming the over. Last one. Keeper's ball. Oh. And that's all she wrote. We'll be back in the box game again between innings. Your chance coming. Are we goodie bag? Coming up next for the Blaze, chasing down the Sparks boat. It's all good stuff, done stuff, fun in the sun. Make sure you hydrate, apply that sunscreen, and look after the windows.
Great work down on the ground.
Gorgeous day here in Dunedin for the first game of another double header in the Dream11 Super Smash presented by KFC. Wonderful day to be out on the bank supporting the Otago Sparks. They won the toss and they elected to bat, and they did a good job of it as well, managing to get through to 128 for 7. Key contributors Katie Martin, Millie Cowan and Hayley Jensen top scoring with 35. The big question on everyone's lips here is, will it be enough against a powerful and dominant Wellington Blaze side? 2 voices to talk you through that will be myself and Susie Bates, who's managed to quickly get up the stairs No further injuries. Looks all in one piece. Sling's still on. Impressed with what you saw from the Otago Sparks?
Just catch my breath. We complain in Dunedin if it's too cold, and it's a little bit warm today. But yeah, look, Katie Martin ran past me and said 20 short, but look, they were in position to get that 140 and unfortunately couldn't quite get bat on ball in that last over. And if you take wickets though, you're in with a chance in 2020 cricket, so they'll be looking to get these two early.
Yeah, I don't think the wicket's as flat as it was in the first lot of double headers a week ago. I think that was a cracking wicket, and this has obviously just sat in the fine weather out in the sunshine for a week, and I think it's just slowed up a touch. So there is some hope, I think, for the Sparks here. I think they've got a score on the board now. It's just up to defend it. It's going to be tough. However, 2 white Ferns out in the middle, and Maddie Green, Sophie Devine in her first game back as well. And to bowl to those 2 white Ferns, there's another one, Hayley Jensen. Got a slip in place as well to start. Sparks understanding that the best way to go about defending this total is to actually take wickets to try and get this Blaze side 4, 5, 6 down and test out that lower order. A little bit of shape from Hayley Jensen as well to start. 2 fielders out on the offside. Deep third man, deep cover as well.
And Sophie starts with one of her strengths, the ability to run well between the wickets. Not only does she have the power, but she's quick between the wickets and can play that shot into the offside, especially when the fielders tend to sit back when she's on strike. Sure the angles are correct in the field. Maddie Green across over on off stump. Bella James does well in at extra cover. Hayley does get the ball to swing nicely away from the right-handed batter. She got some swing in the previous game against CD, and she started with the field hoping that she does get that swing, and so far so good. Lovely shape away.
This time attacking the inside edge of the bat, squirts away into the leg side. Can be tricky as well if the wicket is slightly slow, when the ball is wider and shaping away from you to try and find your timing. So Katie Martin hit one at shoulder height to Sophie Devine at extra cover, just reaching for the ball. Unable to wait long enough. Just dying through to the keeper.
Just like you mentioned, when the ball is that wide, the ideal scenario is you play it at that back hip. Obviously just too wide there for Sophie to even reach, but does become difficult when there's no pace. You end up playing it out in front of you instead of underneath your eyes.
Sophie Devine just moving out of her crease now. Slapping hard through the offside. Fielder's done well in the end, Emma Black. Chance at the keeper's end. Close enough. We will go and have a look at that upstairs.
TV umpire to director, we have a review for run out. Can we have your best side on angle, please?
Big throw in from deep cover boundary, skips off the surface. Might have just got there.
That, please, Brian. Go back and just pause there.
Bale out of the groove, bat on the line. I've got an excited looking Susie Bates next to me here.
First replay, that was out. Obviously no bias at all.
Have you got
but
any other angle?
That bail,
side.
I believe, has just popped off before she actually gets the bat across the line. But we will leave it in the third umpire's hand. It is close. Obviously, I've made a call that it's out and it would be a great early wicket for the Sparks.
I think the discussion here is just going to be around whether both ends of the bail is actually out of the groove.
Can you load not out? It's inconclusive for when the bail's fully out. So we'll go not out on the big screen, please.
And that is what Derek Walker decides as well. Inconclusive as to whether both ends of the bail was out of the groove. Sophie Devine manages to escape with that one. Could have been a huge wicket to start for the Sparks. Instead, benefit of the doubt goes to the batsman. If you had your pads on, Susie, you'd be expecting the same treatment. And just tucked off her legs nicely into the leg side, testing out this newly laid outfield. He again does a good job hauling that in.
Sadly for the Sparks, an opportunity probably slightly missed. She didn't run the first as hard as she would have liked. A little bit of a slip by Emma Black, but Sophie with the slide of the bat was just able to get close enough to not be given out. I'm sure Katie Martin after the game will love to have a look at that.
You always tend to feel as well out on the field, the more they look at something, the more likely it is to be not out. Black ended up doing a wonderful job out at the cover boundary. She almost overran it, having to slide, stick the left hand out. A good throw back into Martin. Defended into the offside to finish the over off. It's had a bit of everything. 8 for none. Sometimes when you think your total's a little bit below par, you just need that little bit of something special, and this could well have been it. Diving effort, the one hand, the big throw in from the boundary. Fortunately, didn't result in the wicket of Devine. And after that wonderful piece of fielding, it's now Emma Black into the attack.
And in 2020 cricket, Frankie, if those calls go your way, it sometimes is the difference between winning and losing. But let's see if the Sparks can claim another early wicket. They've had one chance, and see if Emma Black can create another chance here.
Hit hard into the leg side to start. No protection out there. Couple of bounces for 4. Just misses straight into the hip of Sophie Devine. And with cover and long on back, can't afford the protection out. Square on the leg side has punished the first ball of the over.
Potentially Martin and Black are going on the other day against CD when Emma didn't get her usual swing and started wide, but I think you have to set the field for her best ball here.
Yeah, that's probably just a little moment of a little bit of lack of clarity. I think it's well known around the cricketing world that actually bowling into Sophie Devine's hip can be a way to keep her quiet, especially early on. So to have your in-swinger who's almost executed perfectly and then with no protection in that area, tough job for Black. Cut hard for 4 from Devine.
Signature Devine here, a little bit of width, fast hands, played it under her eyes, and there's no one stopping that through point.
Like this field much better. Cover coming up into the ring. With wicket going back as well. So 2 back on the leg side, and with this field you just put all the onus back on the bowler. So you bowl nice in swing, you've got to be nice and tight. Every ball you bowl here has to hit the stumps. Big appeal from Martin. Sophie Devine maybe giving us her opinion on how that panned out as well. Just propping across her stumps. And that's the method of dismissal that Emma Black's going to be looking for, the ability to run in, swing the ball in and target that front pad. Does well, Eden Carson at point, diving away to her right.
Martin trying everything here now, appealing for everything. You know, not a bad way, you never know what might happen, but this is what can happen when you're bowling to a world-class player like Devine, is sometimes you doubt your plan rather than sticking with your strength.
Just pinches one to mid-on as well, the Sophie Devine. Emma Black's first over comes to an end, 9 runs off it. The Blaze are 17 for none. Jensen to continue. Gets a lot of bat on that. Does Devine off the wide ball, and that races away as well. Polly, how close was that run out, pal?
Oh, she's obviously been doing her sprints in isolation. God, so close.
Happy with the total you were able to put on the board?
Yeah, look, I'm a bit disappointed with my opening start, but I think the girls brought it back pretty nicely with Hayley and Marto putting on a good partnership.
Crisply into the onside, just one bounce for 4 from Devine.
It hasn't been as clean as Devine would like so far, but even when she doesn't get all of it, it's good enough to go for 4. And beautiful shot into the leg side, one bounce, and it crashes into the fence.
Won't get too much into the Kakanui surface again, Polly, but wicket maybe just a little touch slower than last week?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if it was just one of those days or I couldn't quite find the middle, but yeah, I'd say definitely a touch slower, and they kind of took the pace off with Lee Casbrick a little bit, which made it difficult to generate.
Enjoy facing your former teammate.
Hit hard down the ground from Devine, and that is into the sight screen as well. A first 6 of the day.
Sophie Devine, that looked effortless from up here, but hit the sight screen with ease. She checked her technique after that shot. I still don't think she's happy, but able to hit it out of the park. And that's an area where once she gets it, it stays hit.
It's probably the thing that upsets me most with her. She hits the ball like that and she's upset. Can barely hit it that far with a golf club.
Thank you, Jenny.
I don't mind that plan either from Jensen. Tried to pitch the ball up and swing it, been hit over your head a couple of times, and trying to utilise the short ball as well. Polly, in between innings, did Craig have any words of wisdom for you?
I think it's just about coming out here and having fun. It's a bloody beautiful day, so we're just happy to be out here, and that's when we feel our best, when we're having a bit of fun. Oh, you just sort of watch that. Can't field those ones though, unfortunately.
No, can't field those ones, unfortunately, Polly, and what a shot that is. That's the timing on show from Devine here. Picks up the length with ease, just deposits it onto the bank.
You miss 2 full, you get deposited to the sight screen, you slightly miss your length and you're into the bank. So really difficult player to bowl to. You've just got to go back to trying to bowl your best ball. not try too much.
Good use of the slower ball there from Jensen.
Go back across.
And if it's not Divine that gets you, it'll be Maddie Green. Finishes the over with a 6. A huge over it is at that. 3 overs gone. The Blaze 45 for none.
3 overs gone here at the University of Otago Oval. Some clean hitting out at the moment from the Blaze opening batsman Sophie Devine.
Just sneaking over the boundary.
Confirmation on the 6 from the umpire, moving Sophie Devine.
One of the players to watch from today, Sophie Aldershaw. Tall wrist spinner, able to spin the ball in both directions. She's been in great form so far this season, but this is a tough stage for her to have to come in and bowl it. Sophie Devine 36 already off just the 14 deliveries, and of course being in the power play, can only afford to have the 2 fielders out on the boundary. It's gone for a 6-3 offside field, 2 boundary sweepers, a long on and a deep mid-wicket. Still manages to find a gap, beats third man. Just comes back for a couple.
Just having a look again at the 6 off Maddie Green's bat. She wanted to join the party, was sick of standing down the other end and watching Sophie smash it, and her first ball, she got out of the middle and was able to clear the boundary rope. Dangerous pair when they're both going.
Little change of field, short fine leg in place now. Goes to the sweep. As Divine, 1 bounce out to Hayley Jensen on the mid-wicket boundary.
I like this move from Katie Martin. As we spoke about, she's been the highest wicket taker for the Sparks. And look, if the Sparks are going to do any damage, they have to take a wicket now, and I think Sophie's the best option for that.
Goes too full on this occasion. Green just dances down, clips it away for 4. I agree with you, Susie, as well. I think pace, both these batsmen have looked to attack so far, and then to be able to bring slower bowler into the attack. We've heard how the wicket is a little bit slower. Is that hold there? Has got the ability to get the ball spinning in both directions as well. That's what we expect to see a lot from Sophie Aldershaw. The ball just not arriving. A little bit of extra bounce as well from her height.
Catch, Blakey!
Goes into the leg side this time. Working it down to long on for 1.
Aldershaw's come back well after that full toss, and that's what has been so impressive with her so far this season. She's hardly missed her length, but when you're bowling against 2 players that can hit you out of the park, it's easier said than done.
And then has the touch game to go along with it. That's the single to finish. 9 runs off the over, 4 overs gone. The Blaze are off and running at 54 without loss.
Between Sophie Devine and Maddie Green. It's time now to turn to our man AJ, who's up for that.
Yeah, 2 right, mate. And we're going back to the Super Smash play cards. If you have the one that says a batsman scores or batswoman scores 50 runs in a match, that's the one you need to keep an eye on. Sophie Devine now 10 runs short of her 50. Hopefully that's not a commentator's curse.
Sophie Devine is back. She is back, meaning business as well. 40 runs off just the 17 deliveries so far. It's 4 overs into the chase.
Yeah, really nice, Emma. Come on, girls, come on out.
You two used to be the Smash sisters. Now have been separated. WBBL.
Mix one up here, right?
What are you saying to your bowlers here when Sophie's in form like this?
Great work there, So.
It is tough, but right now I'd be trying to get alongside the bowler each delivery, especially after a boundary, just trying to ask them what's the plan, continuing them to back bowling their best ball. Sometimes you try too much when your best ball still gets hit out of the park and you search for something else and then you bowl a loosener. So just keep searching for your best ball, stop worrying about the batter down the other end.
Catch him up.
Or Chance diving away to her left. That illustrates your point there as well. Hitting a good length, angling the ball back in. Key as well, I think, is to try and bowl at Maddie Green for a period of time.
Catch it. Oh, really nice, Emma.
Still, obviously, a very good player in her own right, but at the moment, the strike power is with Devine, so the ability to get her to stand at the non-striker's end for as long as possible. Always a positive feeling. To give you a chance to have a breather. So far, Emma Black's been good this over, just the 2 runs off it. It's hit powerfully through the offside, just the swing of the bat from Devine once again. Such fast hands, such good flow, and yet another boundary.
Unfortunately, too much width for Devine there, and there's no player better in punishing you on the offside. Quick hands, like you mentioned, from her hockey days. It's an exciting challenge for any bowler. If you can bowl well against Devine, you know you're doing well.
Chance out in the outfield. No, it's got the legs on it as well. The only catching chance was up on the bank. It's been put down too. 50 up for Devine off just the 21 deliveries. And she is back. 66 for none after 5 overs are the Blaze.
That means that Super Smash play card has been activated. Head on down to the merchandise tent if you have that card.
Strike rate 243, essentially 5 4s, 3 6s.
The crazy thing is, I don't think Sophie's played a game, no, I know she hasn't, since the WBBL semi-finals, so maybe a break is a good thing for Devine. She doesn't overhit when she prepares. She knows when she's in good touch and she's happy to step away, so yeah, dangerous when she's in this kind of mood.
Young spinner Eden Carson into the attack. Starts well. This is where it's so useful to have someone like a Maddie Green as well as part of this partnership. Just knows her role here. Just able to work the ball around. Try and score off every ball. Get Devine back on strike. And that's another one to add to the list. Up on the bank once again and shelled. Got himself into a good position and puts it down. Disappointment on the face of that man there, but no disappointment on the face of Sophie Devine. Goes again in that area. Just one bounce four on this occasion.
Really tough ask for young Carson here, but that's the nature of the Sparks outfit. All bowlers need to step up, square leg up, and Divine just stepping across and picking the gap with ease. Really good challenge here for Carson. Martin will help her out here. If she can get a couple of dots, she'll grow in confidence, and now it's how she comes back from this over.
Changing field now, so square and mid-wicket back. Long on comes up to the ring at mid-on. Carson will have to look to bowl into the surface a bit more here, try and spin the ball into the hip of Divine. Instead goes with the Yorker. It's that first dot ball that you speak of. Just try and string a couple of those together to get out of the over. Goes down the ground again on this occasion, does Divine. Just putting the ball at will over the boundary. Looking to go straight was Carson, but it's the length that's the issue again. It allows Divine to skip down and hit the ball straight down the ground. Better finish to the over from Carson, just tucked into the leg side. Fielder does well to keep it to 1. 16 runs off Carson's first over. The Blaze 82 without loss. It's been scintillating from Divine so far. He's been able to score all around the ground, was savage of any width early on, and then got into her work, hit down the ground with power, both the off and the leg side. And that for me was shot of the day. Has clipped off the hip. As always, so impressive against width. And then as soon as the spinners came into the attack, just looked to dominate. 50 off just the 21 balls from Divine. Has now moved on to 66 off the 26 deliveries. And that's enough for me talking about how wonderful Sophie Divine is. Scotty Stevenson joins Susie Bates.
Great way to work yourself back into the White Ferns, Frank. Good praise for the skip, and rightly so. She's on another planet, Sophie Divine, and that one's on the bank again. She is not human, Sophie Divine.
The Sparks will be wishing she stayed in Australia, but she's back, and how good to see this striking. One of the best players in the world at clearing the rope, and she does it with ease that time. Lamplow unfortunately missing her length first ball.
Well, it's not like she's picking on one bowler, she's picking on everyone. And again, Divine, chance out in the deep, over the top, hits the Toblerone, 6 more.
Once again, this time Lamplow adjusts over pitches. Divine onto the front foot, and it looks like this one may have just dropped into the Toblerone, which I believe is 6 runs.
Thanks, Brian. Boundary seek.
We'll let Katie Martin compensate for the rest of the match. 94 without loss. Run rate just under 15. Divine goes again. This one's flatter. Fielded at mid-wicket by Ingles. Just a single. Somewhat deflating.
Divine even looks bored herself now that it's not 6. Look, she's on track to score 100 here, but she might not have enough runs to work with.
Well, Maddie Green, I'm sure will be happy just to take a single here. And that's exactly what she does. She understands that we're on the verge of something very special here. And Sophie Devine is in the driver's seat. Lamplow to Bates, to Devine, should I say. Bates is alongside me and we're both got our jaws on the floor. That's gone huge. They can't even catch her in the bank.
She is the only player today that's made the most of that short boundary. Not many boundaries are big enough for Devine, and she has cleared the rope once again. She is working in 6s. If only I could hit the ball like that, Scotty.
This is unbelievable. Oh, cutting this time. Katie Martin appealsing everything. She wants to go upstairs. They're not going to. She's all smiles. They know they're witnessing something special too. 102 without loss.
There's also the 100-run partnership between Sophie Devine and Maddie Green. 7 overs gone here in Dunedin, the Wellington players. 102 without loss.
Maddie Green's on strike. Oldershaw back into the attack. Do you think you'd ever look relieved to see Maddie Green at the other end as a bowler?
Yes, I'm real good, mate.
Today you do, because Sophie Devine is putting on a show.
Really good composure from Green. I can speak from experience. Sometimes when you're standing down the other end watching someone belt it out of the ground, it's hard to just keep to your process and play your shots. You kind of get carried away with it all.
Looped up, full toss. Devine goes again. That one's gone for 6 more. That's her 8th. And still no one can catch her.
If there is one delivery you do not want to bowl to Devine, it is a delivery that doesn't use the wicket. Unfortunately, with the use of her feet, she gets to it on the full, and you really see Devine not hit that delivery out of the park.
Oh, that's
One's in the covers, and Sophie Devine says no to a run. She's not interested in singles here today. 109 without loss from 7.3 overs. This is phenomenal.
Oh, no.
Down the pitch again, Devine. Takes the single. 92, and then takes another cheeky one. That's not what you need. Full again, clubbed again, looking for the catch. And the catch is taken. Surely they'll want to take the no ball look here.
Do we have a review for an above waist full toss? Can we start with the front foot check, please?
We're just heading upstairs, ladies and
Yeah, it's a
gentlemen.
fair delivery. Can we just go to your best side on angle, please? No, that's fine, Brian. We're going with a no ball.
The no ball is called. They just cannot buy her wicket at the moment, the Sparks. Overruled on a run out. Now a no ball for the catch. And a free hit, as if that's what you need.
No comment. Katie Martin, you can see hands on hips. If we could only turn back time to that run out, how different the day could be. But that's the nature of 2020 cricket, and Devine made the most of the opportunities today, and we could be still in for something very special.
Down the ground. Chance again here. And dropped this time. Devine rides her luck. Caitlin Blakely could not reel it in. Oh, that was Maddie Green. I'm getting overexcited here. Looking for a couple. I get it. And that is the over, 115 without loss.
116 for none. It's time now to check in with our man AJ.
Yeah, right. We're on the bench just witnessing a very, very good batting display. And what could have been, and was it first or second over training the run out? Yeah, so right now, what's on the menu? We're out here on the back watching some amazing batting here from Sophie Devine. What's on the menu? What's tickling your fancy? Wow. Look at that.
White Ferns schedule has been released today. It all begins on the 23rd of February at Hagley Oval in Christchurch. The one-day international series against England. The T20 series follows in Wellington, Auckland and Tauranga. And then Australia at New Zealand shores as well. 28th and 30th of March, the T20 series in Hamilton. And the 1st of April as well. And then in Tauranga, 4th, 7th and 10th of April, the one-day internationals. A wonderful schedule for New Zealand's White Ferns. Definitely Maddie Green on strike this time. And takes the single.
Devine needs one more six. She's not massive on milestones, Devine. She tends to just see ball and hit ball. But I'm sure there's a few chants in the crowd that'll be starting to start for that six to bring up a magnificent 100.
Gets the full toss, goes for it, gets it. That's 100 for Sophie Devine in record time.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a magnificent...
What an extraordinary innings this has been, and it's not done with yet.
Sadly, celebrations have been a little bit muted because there may have been a little bit of an injury in the crowd, so Devine showing some concern.
Oh, it's all happening here.
John's coming right on over to that unlucky girl there that got hit with the ball. Always keep your eye on the ball, team, but...
Sophie Devine has hit a T20 100 off just 36 deliveries. To put that in perspective, Tim Seifert has hit the fastest T20 in the men's game. That came off 40. And they're on their feet in the Blaze dugout, and rightly so. I think everything seems to be under control on the bank. St John's on the way. Clubbed again. Just 6 runs to win, and that's 4 of them. This has been something truly special to witness today. Just 8.3 overs down, and the Blaze on 127, and Sophie Devine on 104 of those.
Unbelievable scenes. It's so good to have her back in the country and hitting the ball as well as I've seen.
Goes again, over the top. And that is job done. Extraordinary scenes here at University Oval. Sophie Devine carries the bat, 108 not out. Maddie Green, 20 not out. And the Blaze have chased down their total in record time, just 8.4 overs. They have absolutely crushed the Sparks on a glamour day in Dunners.
A magnificent display of batting by Sophie Devine, finishes unbeaten. 108 off 38 deliveries. Maddie Green, the captain as well, the anchor, 20 off 15 deliveries. If you are after more Dream11 Super Smash action, you are in the right place, ladies and gentlemen. The Otago Bolts take on the Wellington Ferns.
Oh, Susie, what more can you say? She's had all the plaudits, she's had all the awards. She's a leader, she's a champion, but that is just special.
Like I said earlier, to have not played since the WBBL semi-final, end of November, and to come back first game and score 100, just unbelievable.
And how about this for class? Sophie Devine is now walking across the field to pay a visit to the youngster in the crowd who was hit with that six. And this says everything you need to know about this woman.
Absolutely, you saw as soon as she hit it, even though she probably knew it was her 100, the most concern she had was for, I think it was a young girl in the crowd that she managed to hit. So she's gone over, she's got a nice pack on her face, and Devine will do everything she can to make sure she's okay.
Amazing scenes here at the University of Otago Oval. Sophie Devine, the hero of the day. And we'll take a short break here on TVNZ and Spark Sport. Back with the presentations right after this.
Socks, even some mini plastic bags for sale as well. Get on down there, get yourself out. There is the opportunity, kids, as well, to grab your favourite Sparks players' signatures down by the white picket fence alongside the Players' Pavilion. Head down there in a few minutes' time, and the Sparks players will be able to sign your supporters' jerseys or hats or anything you have. Head on down there and get your favourite Sparks signatures.
Sophie Devine has been the star of the show here, and we'll go straight downstairs to Frankie Mackay, who's standing by with the presentations.
Well, there can only be one Dream11 game changer today, and that, of course, goes to Sophie Devine. Sophie, I'll hand that over to you. The fastest 100 ever in Super Smash history across both men's and women's, beating Tim Seifert, who was 40 balls, you 35 today. What'd you have for breakfast?
Yeah, something different from isolation, which was probably the difference, I think.
How tough has it been being in isolation and having to deal with that?
Look, I think there's been a few players that have had to go through it, and I'm certainly not going to be the last player to go through it either with the current situation we find ourselves. I think for me, though, I was really nervous this morning. I think whenever you have a bit of an extended break for me away from the game, you get nervous about can you come back into it. So it was nice just to spend some time